Okay, tape's rolling now.
Well, hello, and we're here at the Gaelic American Club. Kevin Conlon is on the cameras, and Hilary Carita is taking notes, and I'm Noel McGovern, the voice you're going to hear. And to start off, we're going to start with the real hard, tough questions. But this one isn't that tough. Give us your full name and how you come by the name.
My name is Timothy Francis McCormick. I was called after St. Timothy.
You know, who in the family was your father, uncles, anybody had the same name?
No.
Nobody.
No.
What was your father's name, actually? Let's go there.
My father's name was Joseph.
And your mother's name?
My mother's name was Anne Lannon.
Now, you were born in what county and what parish?
I was born in Curradhead, 4 Mile House, County Roscommon.
And that was near what big town now, or village?
That was near about 4 miles from Strokestown, about 5 miles from Roscommon.
Okay, Strokestown, County Roscommon. So, and was your father from there? Was it?
My father was from there. His father and his grandfather
lived in the same.
Lived in the same house.
And that was on a farm. You had where your father.
That was on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Now, was your mother local as well? Was she from the same parish?
My mother was from around Ruski.
And her name was?
Drummondary, Anne Lannon.
Anne Lannon from Ruski.
Yeah.
Right on the banks of the River Shannon.
Almost.
What was the name of the parish? Did you recall that?
Curradhead.
Okay. And were you born at home or in a hospital?
I was born in Longford, in the hospital.
In Longford town?
Longford town.
Okay, in the hospital there.
In the hospital.
And do you mind? I know I hate asking people, but some people do you mind giving us your date of birth when you were born?
6th to the 13th, 1926.
Okay. She was born on the 13th of June.
1926.
1926. Okay. Into a family of how many? Or how many it was total in the family anyway?
There was 6. I had 4 brothers and a sister.
Mm-hmm. And where did you come in?
I came in last.
You were the youngest?
I was the youngest.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good. And for the records we have it on so that everybody knows, what was the names of your brothers and one sister?
Michael was the oldest, then William, then Joseph, then Anne, Thomas, and then I came.
And yourself. Okay. Did all of the other brothers emigrate? Did they stay home? Or?
Yes, they did. My oldest brother went to England in 1941, I think. And then my William, he was the second. He became a blacksmith, shoeing horses and making gates. And then he went to London in the middle of the Blitz. I think it was 1941 or 42. Yeah. And he married a girl from County Clare. She was a nurse. And they had the oldest one, Barbara, and then they had twins, Mary and Sarah. And my brother Joseph, he went to Dublin, and he worked like in a dairy, and then he became a barman. And then my sister was out here, so she wrote him a letter and invited him out, and she sponsored him, and he came out here. 2 years later, she wrote to me. 3 years later. And then I came out. I worked on the farm in Ireland, and then I had my older brother. There was only enough there for one, so I decided I was going to leave.
Which brother stayed at home?
Tom.
Tom. And he worked the farm then?
He married a girl from County Longford. She was a nurse. But a year and a half after he got married, he was dead.
Really?
Colon cancer.
Wow.
And then my sister that was out here, Anne, she was a member of the Gaelic American Club. And she went home about 2 years after I came out. And she got married to a guy in Barry. And she got a massive heart attack about 4 years later and died.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So going back now, before we skip over, let's cover your childhood back in Strokestown, near Strokestown. You had 6 that were older, 5 that were older than you.
5 that was older than me.
So you were spoiled rotten.
No,
you got all the candy and all the good
there,
stuff.
there was no spoiling over there. There wasn't much candy. You were lucky if there was enough left for you to eat.
So,
well, we didn't go hungry, but
no.
you know, we weren't rich. But you know, it was a simple life, and you know, it wasn't a rat race. And you went out and worked on the farm. And
what kind of farming did you do there?
well, I had 2 horses. And I used to plough, you know, with the hand plough.
Yes.
And I used to mow the meadow and rape the cordon, you know. You'd have the crate and make the sheaves, and they'd be tying it up behind you. And then in the winter time, I'd, you know, go on the county council, you know, public works, drawing stones, and they used to crush the stones, you know, for the roads. And
well, that was after you got out of school. Now, you went to school locally?
I went to school in Ballinderry. I graduated from Ballinderry High School.
Okay. Now, did you have regular teachers there, or was that run by nuns? Or
regular teachers.
Regular teachers.
But the priests in Ireland that ran the national schools.
Yeah, it was run
whatever he said was law.
Sure. And you got now you got your first communion and confirmation.
I got in the 4 Mile house. My confirmation was in Darren, they call it. You know, it was where the curate was.
Right.
It was another church in the parish.
In the same parish.
Yeah. I got confirmed by Bishop Hanley.
Okay, and that was in the diocese of
Elphin.
Okay. Now, most of the farming there, was that all the livestock would have been mostly cattle, cows? And
cattle, sheep.
Oh, you have sheep?
Pigs.
Pigs. Okay.
We used to have sows. You know, they used to call them bonnets.
Sure.
Sometimes they'd have 10, 13.
Sure.
But we had a sow one time, and she had 13 bonnets. It was so sad. And she got some kind of, you know, yellow fever and died.
Oh.
And the little ones had to be brought up in a bottle, you know, give them milk.
Yeah. Talking about, did you just kill a pig during the year for your own?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, you'd, the pig would be about maybe a year and a half old, and then you'd go in and catch him, tie his feet up, get the knife, slit his throat, bleed him, save the blood, and then you'd make sausages.
Yeah, that was
put
like
oatmeal in them.
Yeah.
But if people knew what they were made out of, they wouldn't eat it.
But it was only
the guts, yeah. You had to clean out the guts.
Yeah. So it was
stomach.
They claim that every part of the pig is edible, so you know, nothing goes to waste.
Not over there.
And that was done around. They also salted the pig. It was done around the end of the year, November, October, that time of the year.
Well, it could be any time of the year. Yeah, but you had to bring the pig in, put him on a table, and take all the bones out.
Right.
And then they had the you know, the lean part, like the liver and the kidneys, all that was.
And all the salt.
All that was cooked. It had to be saltpeter.
Right.
And then you had to put it the sides, you know, on top of one another, and then you had to get a nice pair of clean sandals and walk on it, you know, press it down every couple of days.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would go bad.
And then they also hung the bacon after that.
Well, some people did.
Yeah.
Well, you'd hang it up on the corner.
Right. Yeah.
Some people used to hang it on the chimney, make it smoke.
Yeah. Oh. What was in your time when coming up as a kid, what did you do for fun? Did you just get involved with football?
Well, we used to, crowd us a get together, we'd play jump frog, and then we played some hurling and football, and then there was a musician, Chady Donnelly they called him. He played the accordion and he played the tin whistle, and they were marvelous people. They used to come from all over there, and then he'd, give lessons on the tin whistle, and he was very, very talented. Never had any lessons, just picked it up by himself.
But he was good at passing along the.
He was. He was very.
So there was a lot of
good teacher.
A lot of musicians came from one musician.
Yeah, that is true. Well, it's unique over in Ireland because it's handed down from father to son, mother to daughter, and that's valuable.
Yeah, it is. If you were standing, and just picture this in your mind as a kid, if you were standing at the door of your house where you were brought up, what would you be looking at? What would you see?
I'd be looking at a whole string of bogs. We owned about 20 acres of bog. That's where they cut the peat, yeah. And then Board and Money came in, and the county council, and they took some wood over and put drainage in and all.
Now that bog, which was like in Strokestown, County Roscommon, that went for miles down.
It went for miles, went all the way to Lanesborough.
Yeah.
Board and Money was very big in Lanesborough.
Now Lanesborough was still in County Ross.
Well, it was on the borders of Longford
and
Roscommon. But Board and Money came in there, and they put a lot of people to work.
Yeah, but they also went south to County Offaly as well.
Yes.
So it was a gigantic.
Well, yeah, they exported a lot of it too, and then
well, they're still in business. They're still doing that.
Yeah,
they're making the briquettes, right? They still do that. What was school like for you? What did you enjoy about school?
Well,
didn't enjoy about school.
School was. De Valera was the Taoiseach at the time, and he had an idea that every subject to be in Irish except English. Almost 90% of the subjects was in Irish. You said your prayers in Irish. De Valera had an idea that Ireland would be self-supporting. He didn't want any American companies in or any British companies. I think he had it all wrong. Because there was no work there, and when you left, that Irish was no good to you if you went to England.
No.
It's good to have a second language, but this was 90% Irish in the schools.
The island was too small to isolate itself.
He had the wrong idea.
Yeah. But you learned Irish and
learned Irish, and I have it all forgot.
Really? Yeah. Well, you didn't use it.
No.
And if you don't use something,
that's right. Even your brain, you lose it.
The holidays. What do you enjoy about the holidays in Ireland? Like, for instance, Christmas and the New Year.
Well, Christmas and New Year's, the families, get together, 3 or 4 families, and there'd be all kinds of goodies. There'd be Guinness stout and some wine and Jello and custard and sweet cake. They call them Barden Bracks.
Right. There was a little more around.
A little more luxury, if you could afford it. Yeah.
Was there any special things that they did around Christmas that you were in your side of the country?
Well, you went to church.
Yeah.
And then they used to have the Wren Boys Day. You'd go out and knock at the door, and 3 or 4 go together, sing a song, and then they call it the Wren Boy.
Yeah, Wren Boys.
And if they didn't come across, there'd be some feathers around.
What was the New Year? Was that a big holiday in your New Year's Day?
No, not really. They didn't celebrate it too much.
What role did the church play in your community?
They played a big role.
Was it, yes.
The church, the priest was the CEO of the national schools. Well, he was over the teachers, which was, you know, a good thing. You know.
Sure. But it was a big. You went to mass every Sunday.
Oh, you did. You that had to be.
Yeah. There was no slacking off.
No slacking on that unless you were sick and not able to walk.
What about things like dances then as you got older, dances or dance halls or just country house
Well,
dances?
they had a dance hall in Strokestown. They had a survey, and you know everybody put a name in, and they called it the Magnet, Magnet Ballroom.
Oh, okay.
And they used to have there was a band in Roscommon, Flynn's band. They didn't play much Irish music, but they played a lot of they played waltzes and you know, rumbas and sambas, you know, ballroom dancing.
So they were more of the show bands.
Saxophone and trumpet and.
And that would have been probably in the 50s.
That'd have been in the 50s, and then that a ballroom in Ruski, and they used to run Keely's there. Jimmy Shand and his band was there.
Oh yeah. Now in Strokestown, Ruski, and these towns that are on the bank of the banks or close to the banks of the Shannon there,
right,
and almost the centre of the country. Had the electricity power got to you at that point? Was the electric lights and electric power?
Not when I left. They got about 1954.
But okay, so when you're talking about these dance halls, did they have electric in them?
Oh yeah, the towns had it.
The towns had it.
Yeah, they had their own little generators, and you know, in the town.
Okay, so each town was kind of separate.
Like Roscommon had theirs, and
right. So they didn't have a national. The SB hadn't come in yet, and
well,
national coming in.
It had come in, but it hadn't got out in the suburbs.
Okay.
You know, the poles had to be put up, and
okay. All right, because some of the dance halls I know did have, you know, the different pump
generators,
generators, or the old lights, you know. So, what was your favorite music at the time when you were growing up? What would have been your favorite?
Well, my favorite was, you know, jigs.